Hi, hello and welcome to another video. So, for this video we are basically doing trope tests. So, I got this idea from Chandler Inslee, and basically she has done like the major ones. I am eventually getting to those as well, and now I won't have a rating on like spice scale or if the trope like fits or something. I'm mostly going off of vibes. That's what I do. Now there are definitely some books that you can see like this really fits the trope. So yeah, for the trope for this month is single parents. Yeah, so I am going to read 5 books with single parents. So it can be a mom or a father, a mom or a dad, it doesn't matter. I am just single parents now. I want to say that mostly I have seen single dad, but I have read a few ones that have this trope already. So let's just see on a few of them. So All Roads Lead here is a single dad, and then we also have Mr. Masters, which is a single dad. Then we have Eleanor in Grey, that's single dad, and then The Air He Breathes is a single mom. Another King is single dad. So yeah, I feel like single dad is the one that is kind of used the most. But yeah, let's just, the book that I haven't really decided on the TBR yet. I have found like 10 or so single parent ones, and I'm just going to pick what I feel like. Most likely it will be things that I can listen to, because I have been in a really, let's call it, I have been in an audiobook mood where I have been listening really to a lot of audiobooks, and I have been struggling reading physical. So I have already picked the first book, listened to the first book. So the one that I picked was Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, and this one is definitely, it has a little mixed reviews. It says a 3.87 star rating, so it's almost a 4 star, so it's quite good rating for being a romance. So in this one we are following Farley Jones and Meyer Harrigan, and basically it's a comedian, like stand-up comedian. So she is young, like not too young, she's in her 20s, basically in a kind of rising comedian, and basically this is her and her a little older manager, which is Meyer Harrigan, and he is a former stand-up star. And basically he has a daughter named Hazel, and she is, like, Hazel is deaf, and basically to kind of up to stir up some publicity, she and Meyer decides to fake date. So it has a lot of different tropes, so I'm just going to wrote it out. So tropes, it's basically workplace, single dad, grumpy sunshine, mutual pining, friends to lovers, fake dating, and age gap. So it has a lot of different things going on in here, and I feel like it worked really well with kind of all of them. And I feel like it definitely like mixes up a few things once you have a single dad, just because I definitely liked how Meyer was really like thinking about his daughter all the time, and basically before kind of he decided to kind of move forward and really tell Farley her like how he really felt, he basically decided to ask his daughter. And I feel like that is really, that's something I like, just because I don't like it when they are like just not thinking about their like kids like thoughts. He really did that, and that's something I really liked. So one thing that I have to say is that the reason why these kind of, let's call it really like bonded, was because Farley knew ASL already like before she met Meyer, and that's something I really love this. I give it 5 stars, just putting it out there. I was smiling like I was grinning and smiling like a maniac throughout this book, and that's something. When I like a book, I cannot stop smiling, and I could not stop smiling when I read this. This is definitely a book that I really want to own, and it was really cute, and yeah, this was definitely a hit for me. And yeah, I feel like this trope is a hit or miss for me. It's not always that I love like a single parent one, if it's not done right, you know. And I felt like this one was done really well. I don't really know what else I am going to read, but I mean, this put the standard with a 5-star already as the first one. That's it's going to be difficult to top. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I am going to read 5 just because that is 5 days. That's like Monday to Friday, and then I have the weekend to do other things or film another video or something. So this will be hopefully 5 days. So 5 books, 5 days. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope the other books are as good as this, but maybe not. Maybe it is. I can't tell. So yeah, I am going to do some other things, and then we will I will update later once I have finished or started anything else. Let's do this again. I don't know if the other clip was deleted or not, but I just finished the Coppersmith Farmhouse, and basically that actually made me think of Funny Feelings. And basically, did the kid need to be there? And I want to say in Funny Feelings, yes, because the kid brought them together. Could you have done it in another way? Yes, but I don't think that they would have been like that. They wouldn't have met or anything if it wasn't for the kid. So I would say yes, it brought something to the story. In the Coppersmith Farmhouse, we are following, let's talk about that one right now, because we are following Gigi and Jess. And basically Gigi has just moved to a small town in Montana because she has unexpected been given a gift of a farmhouse. And basically she and her daughter moves to there, and basically the first thing, not first thing, but almost the first thing she meets is a extremely rude guy called Jess, and he is basically the town's, and basically he makes a complete fool out of himself, and then basically tries to get her back. So I give this 2 stars. That says something, because I'm not that picky about my romances, but it sucked. This sucked, and it made me angry. Especially, I really like contemporary romances. However, this one, I can like a douche. However, I didn't like this douche. He wasn't alpha-ish, he was terrible. So, basically, to make up for it, he kind of forces Gigi to go out with him. Like, I will pick you up at then. Doesn't take no for an answer, and just, I'm gonna pick you up there. It doesn't matter if you don't want to, I'm just going to pick you up. And he was always like fighting her, like saying rude comments, and then expecting her to forgive him. And he was really like bossy, and I hated that. I hated the kind of bossy that he was, just because I felt like he was, when he was bossy, he was just like, you need to listen to me no matter what. I don't care what you think. We are doing it this way. So in this one there was like some sort of suspense, which was interesting, but it didn't make up for it. So I mean, there was one who said something, Jessica from Just Love Books. She basically says that basically he's rude in the beginning, and we learn why, and just realizes he's wrong. So he decides to force her on a date and pretty much says that they're together. Yes, and that's annoying. I hated that. Gigi would argue with him, but then he gave in to him anyways. I hate when people do that. There is a point where Jess literally yells at Gigi and gets it irritably angry at her for no reason. Yes, she also yells at the kid. He yells at the kid, and it's like, I didn't mean it. And yeah, Gigi gets mad at him, but then lets him get his way anyway, or just gets over what he did to her without a question. yes, it was, and that kind of becomes a problem when I didn't particularly like love her just because she let herself pretty much get walked on by him. I didn't like him because he was just, yeah, like yelling at her and just expecting her to do it his way, and just, yeah, just, he was basically just walking over her, and I hated that. That was that book. So we have had a 5-star, and now we have a 2 stars. So, and yeah, did a kid need to be in here? No. She just brought some sort of tension in here. Like, you have a kid. Yes, he loved her. But it didn't bring anything to the story. Like, they didn't meet because of the kid. The kid was, I just felt like the kid was there. Tomorrow, I read like one single father, and now we have read the single mother. I think I will read the Bombshell Effect tomorrow, which is single father again. And then I don't know if I will pick up like a single mother or something just to change it up, but the Bombshell Effect is tomorrow. And then, yeah, let's just basically see if how this week turns out. I hope the Bombshell Effect is better, just because I hate when I read a bad book. Because once I read a bad book, I don't want to read anymore that day, and it sucks. Because I am supposed to pick up the, you know, Throne of Glass. I haven't done that because I was so down, because I hated this book. And yeah, I don't know what it is. A lot of people are like, if they love a book, they don't want to pick up something else because they love it so much. I'm that way with something that I hate, just because I feel like I want to go that day and just hate the book. And then, yeah, hopefully the Bombshell Effect is better so I can move on to Throne of Glass tomorrow. So one thing that I totally forgot to say about this series, or this book, it's in the Jameson Valley series. And will I continue on with this series? I probably will, just because it wasn't the writing I didn't like, it was the characters I didn't like. So I will probably read at least one more book in this series, just to see if I get along with those characters instead. I feel like that is like one thing that I try to do, at least if I like the writing. Because the writing was not bad in this, it was more so the characters that I didn't vibe with. So we are going to try, and I will also read more from Devney Perry, probably just because I have heard a lot of people love Devney Perry and basically says that this author is good. But this is her, or him, her, right? I think it's her. Debut, and basically it's not the best, and I am going to let her get a few more chances to see. If I don't vibe with this series, I will probably move on to a different series. And just because I have at least Tattered, and I have a few different ones on my list that I kind of want to try and get to, so I just feel like I am going to give her at least like one more shot, possibly like one more shot in this series. And then if I don't like this series, I will probably continue on with another series and see if I vibe with that more. That's basically what I had to say. I just needed to say it now, so I didn't totally forgot it. So it's Wednesday, and I have just finished the Bombshell Effect, and in this one we are following Luke and Allie. Basically, Allie goes back to Seattle because her father have just died, and she figures out that he basically have written, like, her will is basically a football team, and on this is Luke, and he is a single father, and that the only thing he kind of cares about is his basically being a good father and being like a good team member. And basically they are neighbors. He's a complete jerk when they first meet, and now they need to work together. So I think I'm gonna give this a 3 stars just because it was fine. It wasn't anything that I loved, you know, but it was fine. It was good. I didn't hate it. I mean, the kid didn't need to be here, but she gave something to the story. But yeah, yeah, it was fine. Let's just call it that. I don't know what else to say. So this is the first in a series, and I think I will continue on with this series. Other than that, I don't. Yeah, it was definitely something I am going to continue on with the series. There are 3 books in this series. All 3 are as an audiobook, which is completely fine with me. Not gonna continue on in this vlog because this is about single parents. Yeah, I don't think I kind of have anything else to say about this book. It's like an average book that I liked. Don't think there kind of is anything else to kind of say about this. I feel like I have read, I mean, football. I feel like football is one of the like most like written about sports. I feel like a lot of books, like popular sports romances, are about football, and it's really a hit or miss for me. I don't really know. So another thing that I kind of feel like I should mention, even though this has nothing to do with this vlog, but I have been reading Throne of Glass, and I have finished it and gave it 5 stars. I really love this series. This is a reread for me, so yeah. Not gonna say anything else about that because it's not for this vlog, but just to mention that I have finished it. So yeah, I don't really know what I will read tomorrow. I have a few books left that are audiobooks. I feel like since I am currently, you know, trying to get everything in order, I definitely have to say that listening to audiobooks are a perfect way to get things done. So I have 4 books left that are on Storytel, which is the place that I listen to audiobooks. So I have Tattered, which is a Devney Perry book. Then we have Mom Come, One Hot Italian Summer, and Grumpy Romance. So what I basically am going to do, I have to say, how I pick what book I am going to read, it's all for the murder mystery that I am a part of, like the challenge for the book club that I'm a part of. That is like the only way I pick what books am I going to read for that. Now Throne of Glass I cannot use for that just because I have been reading it over multiple days, and yeah, that is kind of how I am picking out what book am I going to pick next. So now I am definitely starting to struggle a little with the things that are left, with the things that I want to read. So I'm just going to see whatever I get to tomorrow, and we will talk later. I just finished Mom Come, and in this one we are following Maddie and Wilder. And basically Maddie is the mother of a 9-year-old son, and basically she lives in Los Angeles at this time, since she moved there like 10 years ago. And basically her father has died, so she and her, I have to call it ex-best friend Wilder, is going to have this bakery together because that is in her father's will. However, not everything is going smoothly. I think I'm gonna give this 3.5 just because I didn't fully love it. However, if you do really love Rosie, I feel like this kind of have a little of the same vibes and the same themes in them, with teen pregnancies, basically being best friend with a guy who you kind of, in a way, just seem to keep missing. I don't really fully know what else I am going to say about this. I liked it.
I didn't fully love it just because I felt like it wasn't enough romance, you know. It was just, they just kept on fighting. Whenever they were together, they were fighting. They basically had this horrible opinions on when they said that they were dating other people. They were just having, yeah, they were just not rude. They were just really, really rude towards each other. And yeah, I really liked the son. In this one, I felt like the kid needed to be there, because if not for the kid, then Maddie wouldn't have moved to California. And that is kind of the whole premise of it. And I kind of felt like sometimes it was a little like childish, just because she was, whenever she had trouble, she was like, I'm just going to go back to California. And it just was a little annoying at times, how she just kept on, you know, kind of call it threatening that. And I also have to say that she had to stay there for a year to work at her father's bakery, to basically get the bakery. And one thing that I didn't like was that was not a conversation she had with her son. He's 9 years old, meaning that he is old enough to be explained to, you know, and basically needs to kind of have something to say. I feel like it's different when you have like a 2-3-year-old child, that you don't have these deep conversations that, oh, we need to stay here for a year, just because they don't always understand what that means. However, he's 9, meaning that you definitely should have had that conversation with him once that arose, you know, just, yeah. This one is set during like Christmas times, so it's cute that way. I don't know what else to say. It's fine, let's call it that. I don't really know what else to say. I really like when, you know, you have like restaurants and bakeries and everything, just because I really like to do those kind of things. However, there wasn't like a lot of it here. I felt like a lot of the focus went on to the two characters not getting along. And yeah, but overall it was cute. Let's just say that it was cute, and I think that a lot of people will like this book. And especially if you like Love, Rosie with that theme, then I think you can definitely like this as well. So we have one book left to read, and I don't really know what book that will be. Let's just put it out there. I feel like I have two choices, and that is rather One Hot Italian Summer or Grumpy Romance. And I don't really know which one I'm going to pick. Now, the other one will be read eventually, so that's definitely not going to be a problem with getting to that. So just because I have it on my, it's an audiobook that as well. I have been really just reading this as audiobooks because it's much simpler for me. If you think I look rough, I feel a little rough today, but I have been asleep. It's like that kind of day. And then if I can just lay down and relax without sleeping when I listen to an audiobook, that is also really, really well. And that, I think, is one reason why I can read so many books. But that will be a video in itself sometimes later, how I read so much. But I am going to watch some YouTube. So it's much later, and so it's Friday also. So it's the last day of this vlog. So I have just finished One Hot Italian Summer, and in this one we are following Grace, who basically is trying to write the first book on her own, and she's struggling. So her agent sends her off to Tuscany to get some inspiration, and basically she's going to stay in this house, basically, that this person owns. However, what she doesn't know is that
her, like the agent's ex-husband, Claudio, is living there with his 10-year-old son, Vanny. And basically, they are supposed to be gone, however, they can't come back really early. So basically, these have to stay together. And then it's a really slow burn, forbidden romance, because obviously you should not date your agent's ex-husband. But yeah, I really love this. I'm going to give this 4 stars. Now, I think this could be a 5-star. However, then I would need to reread it physically, I think, just because I was a little off when I listened to this audiobook, and basically the two narrators, like, yeah, they have a really broad, like, Scottish accent of some kind, so it was a little difficult to follow along once I wasn't like fully in it. But I mean I love the audiobook. I'm just going to put it out there, and I think that if the clock was 9, like I started this at 6, if I started it this earlier, I probably would have liked it much more, because now I'm so tired that it's really difficult to really get into it. However, yeah, overall really loved it. 4 stars. So, and did the kid need to be here? Definitely. Without the kid, I don't think there would be much tension, you know. I think the kid brought something into it, and that is also, I feel like that is also one reason why it's a slow burn. If the kid wasn't there, maybe it wouldn't have been such a slow burn. So I think the kid brought something, and yeah, then they had something, like Claudio and the agent. They basically have something together that causes a little conflict once you bring another person into it. So overall, I have to say this has been this has been going really well. Now we had a 2-star, a 3-star, a 3.5, a 4 stars, and a 5 stars. So we have like a wide spectrum. But yeah, overall it was a lot of good things. I am definitely going to read more Karina Halle. I think I have read some Karina Halle books, I think, already. Overall, I'm going to read more from it just because I have been really liking things. So yeah, but that was it for this video. So overall, do I like single parents? Yes, if it doesn't go too quickly, and if the kid like brings something to the table. Just because I don't want the kid just to be there. I want the kid to, have a part in why they meet, why it's difficult to be together, like things like that. Just that it brings something to the table. I think that's it, basically. So yes, it's definitely not a new favorite trope. It's not one of my favorite tropes, but it's a trope that I have mixed opinions about. But overall, it's not something that I hate. It's definitely more towards, like, That's it. I hope you like this video, and I will see you next time for another one. Bye!